Hey, I'm NichBoy and welcome to Pocket for Tuesday, the 31st of May. Today on the show, fabled decks, Overwatch voice commands, and MoCap Mo problems. Alright, here's what's been making headlines, and from the ashes of a dead RPG, a card game will rise. The Fable IP is back in action sooner than expected after the closure of Lionhead Studios and the cancellation of Fable Legends. A small group of former Lionhead developers have banded together to create Flaming Fowl Studios. A delicious studio name. And they've announced a collectible card game called Fable Fortune. The Hearthstone-esque game has been in development since 2014 and is in a pretty complete state already. IGN have uploaded a PvP gameplay video which shows off some of the action. Lionhead veteran come Flaming Fowl Mike West has said that the team's ethos is improving the genre, which to them means using 3D art and RPG mechanics such as card leveling, as well as incorporating the charm, style, and humor of the Fable series. So expect all the cards to fart STIs at you. Microsoft has sanctioned the use of the Fable name, and the studio is heading to Kickstarter to fund the project. When the crowdfunding campaign launches tomorrow, they'll be asking for £250,000 British pounds. That's 1.6 trillion Australian. And they expect to release the game on Windows PCs and Xbox One by early 2017, with an open beta scheduled for later this year. Next up, and Swedish publisher Starbreeze just bought the Payday franchise from 505 Games. Starbreeze acquired full franchise rights for a reported $30 million. That's 1.6 trillion Australian. In a press release, they also explained they will be receiving all net revenue from the Steam version of the game retroactively from May 1st. With the acquisition, they also announced that they will be developing Payday 3, presumably with Overkill Software, who created the first two main series installments. No other details were given. And from official sequels to rumors about sequels, and there could be a sequel to Injustice Gods Among Us. That's according to French game site gameblog.fr. They've got sources who are suggesting Injustice 2 is in development for Xbox One, PS4, PC, and it's due to be announced any day now. Probably before E3. Alright, that's it for the news. Es hora del quello del dia. That's Russian for it's time for Thing of the Day.
I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
Thing of the Day. Ever wondered what Overwatch would be like using voice commands? Of course you haven't. But Slimecicle did, and it went as expected.
Today I'm going to try and play Overwatch with voice commands. Take the space between the over and the watch, and never mind, just left. Stop. Oh my god, this is horrible. Look left. Fire. Is it bad I can't tell the difference between this and every Bastion I play against? Turn left. Turn right. Oh no. Oh shoot. Oh wait, no, I said, oh, not shoot. No, stop shooting.
Skip.
I'm joined now by Hex to discuss our talk through.
I'm eating my breakfast because I have to be in studio in 15 minutes, so we have to be super quick.
There's a lot of cinnamon smells going on right now.
These both have cinnamon in them.
Right, okay. That's not too much
cinnamon. No.
Okay.
I reckon I'd probably ace the cinnamon challenge.
Yeah, alright. Well, we should find that out later. Guys on the internet, remind me to ask how to do that. Okay, so today's topic comes in from someone called YouTube account who says, is this a shit topic or a good one?
Well, it's a shit topic, isn't it?
There you go. YouTube account, try harder. And next talk through comes in from Papa Rai Rai. Great name, Papa Rai Rai. That really makes me smile. What would make a good talk-through topic? Papa Rai Rai, it's funny you should ask that because we do actually have a good talk-through topic that came in from someone called Good Game, which is not actually us. I guess it's Good Game? How would you pronounce that?
I'd pronounce that good game.
There you go. All right. And that semi-South African accent feels appropriate for what we're about to talk about, which is when Naughty Dog revealed the lineup for actors and characters for Uncharted 4, a game you and I both somewhat like, some people weren't particularly happy with the casting choice for Nadine because of the color of the actress played by Laura Bailey, and Nadine is a black character. Do you think it's acceptable in gaming for a white person to play someone of another color or culture? Personally, I don't mind with actors like Laura Bailey or Troy Baker playing some characters of color because they are fantastic actors and try to be as decent as they can. However, I do think it's important to have some actors play roles according to their corresponding color, particularly in such story-rich games as Naughty Dog's or Telltale's games. Hashtag, am I too controversial? We got it all out.
It's such a tough topic.
It's a big one
to approach, but a great talk-through topic.
Well done.
First of all, I think, obviously it is a valid concern, given all the whitewashing that's happening in Hollywood at the moment, and the discussion
all the
around
moments.
that.
I would say all the moments.
All of the moments.
Not just this moment,
not just
but
this moment.
all preceding moments.
Throughout time.
Yep.
Both Naughty Dog and Laura Bailey have spoken out on this.
Yes.
The way the casting of this went is that, Laura Bailey has done a whole bunch of motion capture for lots of video games. She's a heavyweight that would match Nolan North and Troy Baker, and they actually cast her before they had a character concept for the role.
They were just like, we need the best people.
Yeah.
And
all
before we
they
even know who
knew
the
was that
characters
her
are.
name was Nadine and that she needed to have a South African accent. She was
Yeah.
South African origin, which could be anyone.
Yeah.
She was cast, and then eventually they were like, well, they came up with a character design, and they're like, this is who you're playing. And she was like, oh, okay. And she was instantly like, is there going to be backlash for this? And then she was kind of like, what do I do? Do I get them to redesign the character and make it white, which would then you'd lose the opportunity of having an awesome woman of color in the game,
Yep.
or do they recast someone else? And in the end, they thought that she was a great actor and her performance was awesome, and she really worked on her accent, and ultimately her performance had no real bearing on the character itself.
Yeah. I do, yeah. I mean, it's a really thorny issue. I think that up front, we should both admit that we're white.
Super white.
Super, super, super white.
I'm like Nordic in my background, so I'm like as white as it gets.
She's eating 2 kinds of cinnamon right now. How white can you get? But I would say that this has been an issue in games for a while. There's actually been lots of characters who are black characters who have been played by white people. A couple of examples. Clementine from The Walking Dead is played by a girl called Melissa Hutchinson, white girl, black character. Marvin Branner, a character in Resident Evil 2, was played by Rod Wilson. He could be Hispanic, but he's definitely not black. And so this is a problem. And I feel bad saying it because it's from my perspective, but I do think the other element of this is the representation of what we see. So that it is important for black actors to have these roles, but I think it's also important for black characters to be seen on screen. And that we're getting better with that, to have more black characters. But as a player of the game, I'm not thinking at all about who's playing this character. I'm just looking at the actual character. And if the character is black, then that is black representation to me. And I could be very wrong about that, but to me, I'm going, oh, seeing someone of color in a video game is right now, to me, more important than necessarily having that voice be someone of color. Not that I think it shouldn't be, but in this case.
It's just some people would argue that this is kind of an elaborate form of blackface, though, because what you're seeing is a black representation on screen, but it's a white person playing it.
Absolutely, but I do think that blackface comes with a whole historical context of, it's not blackface, she's not dressing up to be a black person. She's actually just doing a voice of a character, and then the character that's not a real person. She's not doing something offensive by people used to do blackface to be offensive, and so
the history is a little bit different.
Then on the other hand, absolutely that could have been a black actress. Like you said though, this was originally a character that was just a vague name and plot point that got turned into a character. And so you go, well, then is it right that she gets let go and they find someone else just because they've gone, oh, we've changed the skin color of a character?
Yeah, it's tricky.
I don't know.
And you kind of put video games and motion capture almost in a different area as well, because you kind of take for granted that the person that is playing the role looks nothing like the character. I mean, okay, Nolan North is a white guy, playing a white character, of course, but he doesn't look like Nathan Drake. And the girl that played Ellie in The Last of Us was not a child.
Yes, Benedict Cumberbatch is not a dragon.
Just about to say that.
Wait, yes, because everyone would have gone for Circus. But no, it's not about Gollum.
He's not
It's-
a dragon. He's not
Which,
a dragon.
which I do think, I don't mean that as dismissive, but it is a situation where you go, oh, we've entered this space where you don't need to be at all like the thing that you're playing.
Yeah.
And when it comes to race, then obviously we're going into that with a lot of historical context and also with a lot of issues right now. So this opens up to a much broader issue of whether or not you hire people based on merit, or you're trying to fill, affirmative action quotas, or whether or not we should be hiring people with absolutely no knowledge of their race or their gender or their sexual orientation and stuff. And I don't have an answer for that. I still don't really know where we land on that, but I do think it's a difficult issue now for video games. But I do think that the representation of the black character in Uncharted was a very good representation.
Yeah.
Like she was in no way.
And as a woman as well, because
Exactly,
like,
yeah.
she was fit, she was buff, and
Yeah.
I completely enjoyed seeing someone who was strong and, at one point goes up against two guys and like fights them off, and you kind of believe that because you look at her and you're like, she would mess you up if you got into a fist fight with her.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love that they made
and
a
she
strong
did mess them up.
character.
She
like
messed
that.
them up a lot.
Spoilers.
Oh, well, them could have been anybody though. She could have been beating up the dragon from The Hobbit.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the thing that you have to think about then is balance. I mean, do we have many instances of black actors playing white characters in games?
Right. Well, yes. Funnily enough, in Uncharted, there is a white character played by a black actor. I'm not actually sure who it is because Neil Druckmann spoke about that, but it came out at the time that this was all being talked about, and they hadn't actually revealed the character yet. So it could very well be it could be one person who has one line in the game or something.
Yeah.
Or it could be the old woman. I feel like it could very well be an old woman in the video game.
Oh, okay.
Because that character had not been announced, and yeah. Also we've got Dishonored 2 coming up, and there's a woman called Erica Luttrell, and she plays Empress Emily Caldwin. So I think that she's a white character in the video game, but the actress who's playing her is American and Tanzanian. So
Right.
yeah, so you do have that. I guess in this scenario, it's one of those things where you go, historically, entertainment has been very bad at having people of color being able to be involved in an equal way to white people, but we need to keep an eye on this space to make sure that it doesn't, stay like that. But also, I personally do think there need to be allowances to go, okay, we're all playing fake people right now.
Yeah.
None of this is real. So in this scenario, I do think it's right to hire the best person for the job, but also keeping in mind, the best person for the job of your leading white female character could very well be a black woman doing the voice.
And it's just tricky because then it's like, where do you draw the line if you start to get really finicky about that stuff? Do you have a gay character that has to be played by a gay actor to give gay actors
Interesting, yeah.
perspectives and background and history into that role?
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. It becomes very murky if you start getting really specific about who you want to cast.
Yeah,
To
absolutely.
portray people.
I do think that you need some, like you said, you do need some sort of balance, but then at the end of the day, you are making art and you should be able to fake it. Everything should be faked because that is, your job is to fake this. We just need to allow everybody the chance to fake it. I guess is where we've ended up. And more Sherlock dragons, just in everything. That'd be great.
Sherlock dragons.
Yeah, would you agree with that?
Yeah.
He did great. Those movies were shit, but he did a really good job.
Have you seen footage of him being Smaug?
Does he crawl around?
Yeah, it's super weird. He does a great job, but it's
he's
just
very lanky already.
It almost makes you a little bit uncomfortable because it's like,
Oh.
it's just weird and serpentine.
And he's probably in something skin tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Might have to check that out. All right, let us know in the comments what you guys think about this very, very big issue. I'm super curious to see where you guys land on this, and I want to learn more about it because I feel like I've only scratched the surface in terms of my knowledge of this. And I say, you would agree?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And while you're on the internet, please check out Good Game on Facebook, YouTube, and if you want to meet fellow Pocketeers, then join the Pocketeers Facebook group and Steam group. You can follow Good Game on Twitter at Good Game TV, follow Pocket at NichBoy at GG at Monkey I screwed that up, but you've heard me say it like 400 times. You know the Twitter handles, it's fine. Did you just spit on me? Did you
Yeah.
spit cinnamon all over me?
Yeah,
It's disgusting.
Cinnamon went everywhere.
There are links to everything I just said in the description below. She's at HexSteph on Twitter, and today
On Good Game.
on Good Game.
Yeah, we have Fire Emblem Fates and Total War Warhammer. You'd think it would be Total Warhammer, wouldn't you? But it's not.
No.
They've got to get both of the franchises in there.
Yeah, it's a real missed opportunity. And I'm also in the show. I look at a game called Turn On. And I make no jokes about that. And then Gus also has an IMO about films based on video games. So that's at 8:30 p.m. on ABC2, as always. And today's Thing of the Day graphic was sent in by Skipperino Nickerino, but he'll never know it was on. Until tomorrow, my Pocketeers, NichBoy out.
Hex out. I'm just gonna turn.
Yeah.
Because I always have to sit on the wrong side when I come in here.
Is it because your hair's down there and it's kind of like, yeah, because all the braids are there.
Look at this, isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
Never saw it.
I feel like we're factoring in my good side, but then I don't necessarily have a good side.
They're both bad, is that what you're saying?
Oh wow, I was gonna say they're both good, but you just really kicked me in the heart there, didn't you, Steph? That feels racist. What are we talking about?